Dear friends, in this video I am going to discuss mass seed production of crabs or hatchery seed production of crabs. What is the necessity to produce seeds in controlled condition? There are so many reasons. One is you will get the seeds throughout the year, and another thing is we will get uniform sized seeds, but natural resources we will get uneven seeds. That is not good for culture. And third one is we are getting the seeds from a single parent. That is in hatchery, but in natural resources we cannot swear about whether the seeds are coming from the same parent. So these are the reasons we are going for seed production in controlled conditions. But shrimp hatcheries are so many hatcheries in India, but almost the technology is established. But hatchery seeds are not hatchery seed productions are not commercialized. The reason is a poor survival of the larval rearing. So as far as seed production is concerned, there is a cannibalism among larval stages. So cannibalism is so powerful in this animal, so we are reporting poor survival. Only as far as my knowledge goes, only Rajiv Gandhi Center for Aquaculture producing seeds and selling the crablet to the farmers. The survival rate is, according to them, 18.7 percentage. It is a maximum survival and it is a world record actually. Throughout the world, the survival was only below 10% or 10 percentage. But only RGCA, that is Rajiv Gandhi Center for Aquaculture, only reported 18.7 percentage survival. It was maximum survival. And slowly, the hatchery technology coming up, very soon the farmers going to get a commercialized hatchery, and they will start their own hatcheries. The private people start their own hatchery. Then only we will culture this animal, crab. The crab culture will flourish only after commercial production of seeds. Now they are only depending upon the natural resources, except the Rajiv Gandhi Center for Aquaculture. The demand is high, but the production is less. But 18.7% survival is not profitable business for the farmers. So that is no takers, no private people are taking care of this, and no takers for hatchery seed production. See, you have to distinguish male and female. How will you distinguish male and female? In male, the abdominal flap is folded firmly against the ventral side of cephalothorax, is slender and triangle, whereas in female, abdominal flap folded against the ventral side of the body is broad and triangular, sometimes semicircular in buried female. Appendages are present only on first and second abdominal segment, and the same are modified to copulatory organ. There are 4 pairs of abdominal appendages present from second to fifth segment, and the same are used for carrying the eggs. The claws are comparatively larger, the claws are small. So these are the differentiation between male and female. Now we see the animal, right? We usually, so this is the actually abdominal flap. This is called abdominal flap. In male, the abdominal flap is narrow, right? Coming to the female, this is female. This is broader in nature. Why the abdominal flap is broader in female? After fertilization, the egg is deposited on the in that area, isn't it? So we call it buried female. So carrying the eggs, this abdominal flap is broader, and here in male it is narrow. And usually in the carried legs, male is bigger in size and female is smaller in size. But this is the important character to identification, that is abdominal flap. Abdominal flap is narrow in male and it is broader in female. Once you get the animal, just in ventral you have to observe which one is male and female. It is very, very important, those who are concentrating on crabs. Now let us go for the life cycle of this animal. Right? See that the adult is the life cycle of that animal. Here the male and female is mating. Actually the mating taking place between soft cell female and hard cell male. The male is upper side and female is lower side. Now once it is mating is over, now the eggs are spawned. The spawned eggs will be fertilized by the sperm. Now the fertilized eggs are deposited on the abdomen of the female. We already discussed in the first slide. Why the female's abdominal flap is broader in nature? This is to carry the fertilized eggs. See that this is a fertilized eggs. Fertilized eggs deposited on the abdomen of the female. Now, initially it is yellow in color because the eggs are loaded with yolk. Yolk is used as a feed for the growing embryo. Once the embryo is developed or it is consumed by, this yolk is consumed by the growing larvae, now the egg become black in color. Once you will get black color, it is about to hatch. Right? Now this egg is hatched, the black egg is hatched into young ones. That is first zoea, right? Then second zoea, third zoea, fourth zoea and fifth zoea. And this is molted into megalopa, and finally you will get crab instar. This will happening in the open sea. This is happening in sea, right? Once this crab instar, you will get the crab instar, it will moving to the estuary where the food is plenty, so that the crab instar is moving, first instar is moving to this mangrove area as well as estuary. Estuary is loaded with mangroves, so plenty of food is available, so that the young ones juvenile is coming to the estuarine area where it's spreading to up to subadults. Once before sexual maturity, the adult is moving to the open sea where mating is taking place. This cycle will go around. So from spawning bred female to first crab instar, it is happening only in the sea water, open sea. So this is called hatchery phase. Hatchery phase is we are rearing the larval forms in controlled conditions, isn't it? Then the juvenile, you are purchasing the juvenile and you are stocking in the farming or culture pond up to marketable size. That is called farming activity. So in this crab culture, it is divided into two. One is hatchery, where you are producing seeds. The produced seeds will be stocked in the ponds. Now the culture starts. This is we call it culture or pond culture, isn't it? Right? This is called culture. This is called hatchery, isn't it? Right. This is the larval stages of this animal. Now going to the commercial hatchery, very big hatchery. Your hatchery should have following components. right? One is broodstock development. You have to develop the broodstock, that is mother prawn. Then hatching unit, where your buried female will be transferred to hatching unit, where hatching taking place. Once it is hatched, the larva is transferred to larval rearing tank, or this is generally called larval rearing unit. Then we have, after hatching, the young ones, the larval forms are feeding with live feeds. So there is a section for live feed culture. So your hatchery should have following different sections, starting with the broodstock development unit, hatching unit, larval rearing unit, and live feed culture unit. So this is the overview of it is a view of commercial hatchery. See that various tanks are there here. Now the tank is almost all the preparation is over. See that aeration tubes, air zones, right? The inner side of the tank is cleaned, and see that transparent roof through which the light can penetrate. The light can, because for light is very important. Light is necessary and temperature is necessary. So that the transparent roof is actually there in all hatcheries, not only this crab hatchery, shrimp hatchery, or even lobster hatchery and so on. Transparent roof is necessary because the animal needs some sort of temperature as well as light. The light is coming from the sun, isn't it? It is passing through the transparent roof. Next we are moving to mud crab broodstock tank. This is the mud crab broodstock tank. Mud crab is always resting on the mud, so you will in corner of the tank is filled with mud, isn't it? So your crab is here, the mud is here. Whenever it needs the mud area, it will move to the corner, isn't it? This is the mud crab broodstock tank. Regularly you are exchanging water after exchanging water, because during exchanging you have switch off aeration, and you are every day you are filtering. You fill the tank with already filtered sea water, right? You are maintaining all the environmental parameters and feeding regularly. That too, there is a broodstock feed is available, pellet feed is available in the market, or you are using that is molluscan feed, oyster, or polychaete worms, because polychaete worms are rich in nutrients. It is provided to the broodstock. So you have to maintain the broodstock. Broodstock is very, very important. And I already mentioned, this is the bred females, isn't it? Initially, the fertilized eggs are deposited on the abdomen of the female, right? So these eggs are yellow in color because the eggs are loaded with yolk. Yolk is a feed for growing larvae, developing larvae, right? Now, after embryonic development is over, the yellow color egg is turned into black color, right? Now, this is about to hatch. 1 or 2 days it will hatch out. So the hatchery owner should take care. This is going to hatch out, because a single mother can give away some millions of young ones. So you should take very carefully. You should take extra care for this bred females. Now this is the bred female, and this is the water quality parameters that is maintained for your larval forms as well as your broodstock. Salinity is 33 to 35 ppt, temperature 28 to 31 degrees C, dissolved oxygen 5 to 6, and pH 7.5 to 8. Photoperiod is 12.12. So that is why photoperiod is 12 hours light is necessary, so that the roof of the hatchery is transparent. So this parameter is strictly maintained, both hatchery as well as farming activities. Hatchery for larval rearing as well as broodstock development. So this is the embryonic development of mud crab, and we have done this in the laboratory. One of my students done PhD in this animal, and he done this all embryonic development, right? See, this is the initial embryonic development. This is called stage 1 blastula. The eggs are round golden yellow in color and are undeveloped and masses of undifferentiated cells are found. The diameter of this is 0.3 mm to 0.36 mm. See, undifferentiated yellow in color, undifferentiated cells you can see, isn't it? Next, stage 2, gastrula stage. This is gastrula stage, and eggs are round and deep yellow or yellowish orange in color. The diameter is 0.37 mm to 0.38. Slowly, the diameter is increasing. Now let us go for the stage 3, eye placard stage. You can see the eye. So this is the eye. You can see the eye. Eggs are round orange in color. Yolk granules are not denser. The eye spots appear as scarlet crescent. The diameter is 0.39 mm to 0.40 mm. Right here 37 and here is 0.39. So diameter is slowly increasing. You can see that is why it is called eye placard stage, because eyes are visible. And let us go for the next stage, that is fourth stage, pigment stage. You can see the pigments, right? Eyes are brown in color with slightly elliptical shape. Appendages of embryonic larvae are pigmented. The diameter is 0.40 mm to 0.1 mm. And the next stage is stage 5, heart beat stage. You can see the hearts. So if it is live, we are observed under microscope. That time we saw that beating of the heart. So it is heartbeat stage. The eggs are dark brown or black in color. The eyes are round in shape. Heart starts beat vigorously. The diameter is 0.41 mm to 0.42 mm. These are the larval stages. Hatched eggs, right, or at the time of hatching. You can see the first zoea, right? This is the second zoea, and this is third zoea, and this is first zoea, second zoea, and third zoea. This one is fourth zoea and fifth zoea. So larval stages, there are about 5 zoal stages. It is differ from each and every species. Mostly the mud crabs having 5 zoal stages, and finally it is molted into megaloba, and the megaloba is molted into crablet. Once you get the crablet, it is ready for sale. So this is called hatchery, right? So you will see from zoea first to zoea 5, more or less, the zoea is looking like only slight difference, right? And megaloba is different completely. See the external appearance. The zoea 5th and megaloba is totally different, and this is a crablet. So that is the reason why this megaloba started eating of this zoal stages, and crablet is started eating of this zoea, megaloba as well as zoal stages. So the survival is poor. The same animal started eating of same animal. That is the first zoea is eaten by second zoea. Then megaloba is eaten by, megaloba started eating of all zoal stages. This is called cannibalism. So there are so many things. We have provided sufficient feed and we are providing shelters. Even then, we come across cannibalism. So cannibalism is vigorous. So we are always reported poor survival in crab larval culture. That is why, because of the cannibalism, we are reporting poor survival. That is why the farmers are not ready to go for hatchery sheep production. So this is we done this in our laboratory. This is the tank. We receiving the water from seawater sources, and is filtered and it is treated with the chlorine. Finally, the treated chlorine water is allowed to stand for 24 hours. After that, we neutralize the chlorine effect by using sodium thiosulfate. Right now, the filtered water is transferred to larval rearing tank. For 1 liter, we stocked nearly about 100 larvae per liter. Right, this is 175 liters tanks. Right, this is a larval rearing tank. We practice this in our laboratory. So this is the live feed culture. We cultured this in our laboratory. Chloroculture. We put seaweed. That is we put groundnut oil cake and urea. That is used as a feed, and we allow to grow chlorella. Once we get the chlorella is feeding to the larval forms. This is our laboratory, isn't it? We practice this in laboratory, our own laboratory. And this is we call it a rotifer, that is Brachynos pelecardilis. Once the chlorella is cultured, we are introducing that there is rotifer culture. Rotifer 1 week you will get plenty of rotifer. Here we are culturing in the tanks. We are culturing rotifers. These rotifers are filtered, and the rotifer is feeding to the larval forms of crabs. Now Artemia also used. Artemia is available in the form of a cyst. Right, we are providing aeration and all environmental parameters. After 24 hours, we are getting the Artemia naplae. This is called Artemia naplae. This Artemia naplae also feeding is used as a feed for the growing larvae. These are the feeding schedule. In first zoea, we are feeding a rotifer, that is 5 to 10, and second zoea 5 to 10, and third 5 to 10 to 15, and fourth 10 to 15, and fifth zoea 15 to 20, and Megalopa we are not feeding rotifer. Then Artemia, right? First 2 stages we are not feeding Artemia because it is depends upon the egg yolk. The larvae depends upon the egg yolk. Right, this is the numbers we are feeding per liter. Then finally, bivalve. Once we get the Megalopa, we are feeding with 5% of body weight. That bivalve meat is used as a feed for Megalopa. This is the feeding schedule. And this is the crablets. Right, once you get the crablets, it is ready for sale. Right, this is the crablets. It is looking like crab. Even larval sizes, all the larval sizes is different from adult. But once it reaches to crablet size, this is looking like a miniature adult. This is the crablet. So with that, I finish this hatchery seed production. Thank you very much.